Hey, fuckers. What are you doing? I'm excited just talking about it.
This is the only better idea I've heard from you is our compound. I want
that's
that
happening.
fucking compound.
No, that's happening. Aubrey's in. Aubrey's down.
I'm a better idea. I have a more realistic idea.
What do you mean more realistic idea? How can you say it's more realistic?
Because we're not all going to like move our families.
I will.
No. This you don't understand. This is the latest idea. The latest idea is we get a setup. Like
condos.
Stop it. Why did you make condos gay? When it was at one point in time.
Condo used to be a manly word.
It was an intermediate point of success. Well, I've got a condo, and I
can take her back to the condo.
At least a BMW 3 Series. Enjoy it.
You sexualize that word forever. Condos.
Condo. Do you realize that if you fall into a black hole, you will see the entire future of the universe unfold in front of you in a matter of moments, and you will emerge into another space-time created by the singularity of the black hole you just fell into?
You just broke the internet. You just broke the whole internet right there. So, can you imagine someone giving your son to someone to hack his balls off so he could sing in a weird way?
I think people were so poor back then. It's like, this is the only way out.
Oh, my God.
Like, opera was like white people's basketball back then. It's like, you have a chance to be a castrati.
If you have any marijuana in your blood in Japan, you're not going to be able to fight.
So. What did you get arrested for?
Marijuana.
So, what is it like? Is it like being caught with cocaine or heroin?
Yeah, it was like
in America?
A drug's a drug in Japan. I was facing some bad time, because I was a famous figure and they wanted to make a sample of me. So it was then the interrogation came to finding out where I got my stuff. In Japan, if you throw everything to a foreign person, they'll drop it. They won't want to go find someone in America. I told them I was a student from Guam.
Oh.
And they asked me for a name, and I said, Tony. I knew like 3 Tonys in Guam, so I figured just keep it real. We had like 2 days of questioning, and late like the 3rd day, they just so happened caught me off guard, man. And they asked me, what's Tony's last name? And this freaking ridiculous, the first name that popped in my head was Montana. And right when I said Montana, I was thinking to myself, oh, fuck, if these guys watch Scarface, man, I was saying, I'm screwed, I'm screwed. Because they'll start the interrogation all over if I get caught in a lie. And
right.
So I saw him write it down in Japanese, Montana, and then he just jotted it down, and I was like, fuck.
Scarface? It's not that popular?
I don't think it's that popular there, yeah. But
how long
that
was
story is worth the trip in.
I hug all my friends.
Right.
This is the most awkward guy ever.
I hug Yoshi all the time.
I know, but he's like, he doesn't. Here, hug the shit out of this guy. All right.
All right.
stop it.
Jesus. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the gayest moment ever on our podcast.
My belief is all of us create what we need to work through to create and learn what we need to in this world. And so I can't look at anyone as a victim. I can't, even a child. I don't blame them. I don't say this is your fault. I say you made an agreement in this place to do this, and I'm sending you all my love, and I believe in you, and I believe that you can be a miracle.
I mean, like, who's to say how you should live this life? It's fucking
I'll
temporary.
do it.
It's temporary, Ari, right? Oh, you should be the one.
Yeah, if we're wondering. I'm totally down.
We should start with you.
Love that.
We should start with you and examine your behavior at the TSA.
I say, I can't do it. Medical condition. Okay, go this way. Okay. If they say, are you opting out? I was like, I don't know what that means. And I say, do you not want that? Or do you want a pat down? I go, no, I don't want a pat down, but I'm not doing that thing. So what are my options?
Are you just trying to be Larry David?
No, I'm just trying to not let them take away these freedoms from me without going down with a little bit of a fight.
But you had Kimbo in fucking side control. You worked to get it. You got it. You were in a dominant position. He was tired, and they stood you back up.
Gary Shaw said,
bitches.
Gary Shaw said, we did a radio interview, where everyone's on the other line, and I've just finished training, so I'm on the phone, and no one was asking me fucking any questions. And I thought, yeah, I'm just the guy for Kimbo to beat. So, and then someone asked Gary Shaw a question. They said, what would you do if James Thompson won? And he said, I'd hang myself. And I thought,
wow. What's the most money you've ever gambled?
The most I've ever lost in one night?
$8, $10.
How much? Okay, what's the most you've ever lost in one night?
$1 million.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. How much is it? What's the most you've ever won?
$6 million.
Oh, Jesus. Is it true that the reason why we don't go back to the Palms is because they cut back your gambling budget because you were killing them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems ridiculous.
I got into it, but that's the way Vegas is now.
I mean, I guess the one film I recommend to everyone is Killer Season. All the Dipset dudes are in it. It's like the worst made film.
Who are the
that's
Dipset
the best
dudes?
Oh, you don't listen to the Dipset? Oh,
Does
shit.
anybody am I alone in knowing what the Dipset is?
Yo, y'all don't know the Dipset?
Y'all don't know the Dipset. My grandfather's rolling over in his grave.
Man.
I told you these fucking kids today. That little thing freaked me out. Gucci Mane is crazy. Look at him. He put an ice cream cone on his face. It says Burr. You see it? You see it on the cone?
Yeah.
BRRR. And the tattoo guy was like, okay.
Cold as ice, man.
Could you I'm gonna have to get you to request this on video. And then I need you to write this down.
Yeah.
Come on, man, just tattoo it. I ain't gonna change my mind.
Put butter pecan on my face, man.
I want a cone, a good one, like a waffle type motherfucker.
Cookie dough ice cream. No spoon, man, no spoon. I lick that shit up.
Yeah.
The craziest part are the lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Put lightning on my ice cream.
Looks like it's
Under his eye says something? What the fuck?
What's up, Boopy? I'm from the Honda's back.
Yeah, that dude is probably irrational.
Gucci? Kiyoshi no Tanda no Hoto?
Nice try. What did you just look up?
Hot for teacher.
What is that?
It's from gangster movies. I mean, who do you think you're talking to?
Matt Ruskin, I didn't do this to be mean. I just did this because that's my nature. I am the scorpion, you are the frog. This is how shit goes down. Matt?
Yeah.
Just tell him you love him.
Matt, have you ever watched a rodeo and felt sorry for the bulls?
What's that?
Nothing.
One of the stories he tells is about this Eskimo guy, old guy, and the family sort of took the keys to the car away from him. Like, you can't go anymore. They were afraid he would go out and die the traditional way. When Eskimo people got old, they would just like wander off into the ice and die, so as not to be a burden to the family. And so that night he goes out, gets out of the house, takes a shit in his hand, forms the shit into a knife blade, spits on it, and the spit is freezing along the edge, and he hones that down so he gets a nice sharp edge with his spit, takes his shit knife, kills a dog or a couple of dogs, and takes their ribs and makes a sled out of it. And with the sinews and whatever other pieces of the dogs, hooks up a couple other dogs to the sled, and he takes off into the snow on his, sled with his shit knife.
What? Yeah. Oh my God, that might be the most insane story I've ever heard.
I had a incident on the airplane going to Indianapolis.
Oh yeah,
where this guy, like, I don't know, this guy just started like interrogating me. He thought I was some sort of flight risk. We're just sitting there, and he just says, he goes, "Hey, are you afraid to fly?" And he goes, "Oh, cool." He goes, "Why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill?" I'm like, yeah, I don't have to answer your questions. He goes, you don't answer my questions right now. I'm going to hit that call button. I will stop this plane and you will be fucking arrested, like saying all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there and he's yapping in my ear. He goes, you think this is fucking over? And I'm sitting there with a blindfold on laughing at him. It was driving him fucking nuts. It was great. Right as I'm starting to nod off, I just hear, why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill? And I just laugh.
I never come in here no
Are there
more.
certain people that they have music laying around just because it's cool?
Tons of them. The worst being the Tom Waits era. Those motherfuckers are the ones I want to punch them right in the fucking face. Because they're the ones, you're having a good time listening to something, you're bopping, and they want to like really impress like some fucking dumb chick with freckles or something. That everybody's fucked already. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fucked. All you need is tequila and a gram of blow, and she'll be sucking your dick in the fucking bathroom.
Whoa.
But you want to be cool. And the Tom Waits. Have you ever listened to Tom Waits?
Yeah, it's not
fucking
my
shoot
style.
yourself.
Yeah, I don't like
if
it.
that's good singing, you want that, you're fucking an idiot. But the only reason that people would put that shit on is to try to overpower you with their fucking Star Wars. What do you call that? The fucking thing with the mind Jedi, the mind Jedi
mind
fucking
tricks?
trick. That's it. Oh my God, he likes Tom Waits. Listen to that
Right,
shit.
they're trying to
Let
make
me sit you
themselves-
down with a gun next to your head. You tell me if that's true. That's good singing. That's good fucking singing. That's the Beatles. I'll fucking shoot you. I'll fucking put a gun to your fucking head, all right? Telling me that's good music. You're fucking 20 years old. Knock it off. Like when somebody says they like the Dave Matthews Band, I will pistol whip you. I will pistol whip you.
He's beautiful. He defined my yard.
I swear he used to look at me.
He was my friend. I know that sounds retarded. But you are afraid of aliens, though, right?
Yeah, I'm afraid of a lot of things.
Is it true you have like a path mapped out in your house how to get out if the aliens show up?
No.
That's the rumor, man. That's what I heard. I heard you have a plan because I know you like to use game plans. So I figured you had an alien.
I know karate and I know jiu-jitsu. So the alien show up, I put a triangle choke on him. And I also have a katana. I have also a katana, a Japanese katana. So if they come, I can slice them apart.
You've kicked the green bitch.
Yes, yes. After a 24-year intense relationship with the green goddess or the green bitch, depending on what mood she's in, I had to stop. And I've come in for some criticism for this, and I feel it's important to say that I hugely value and love cannabis. I think it's a wonderful herbal ally, and I don't think that I would ever have written my books of historical mystery if I had not encountered cannabis.
But you guys are both in better shape than I am, but I work out 45 minutes a month. I do my whole body vibration
45 minutes a month?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I do high
not
intensity.
a minute less.
That shit's ridiculous.
That's 5
I'm
times more than
serious.
me.
I'm too
But that's ridiculous.
I'm too busy, man.
Really? You're
Yeah.
too busy?
I have some theories about that. I invented bulletproof intermittent fasting during that time, which is when you do bulletproof coffee during an intermittent fast.
I'm sorry, but you could be a hilarious Saturday Night Live sketch. If you get any more famous, you're in trouble because they're going to do a sketch where everything. I'm going to take a bulletproof shit, then I'm going to get in my bulletproof car and go to the bulletproof office. This is my bulletproof secretary.
I'll stop bulletproofing stuff, Joe, but
no more.
All right. Fair enough.
I got a buddy who's a billionaire, a real live billionaire. So years later, he came into the money, like where it was his. In 1 year, he went from fucking zenith to nadir. Like he straight to rehab. He would call me and be like, I'm in Vegas. I got the top floor of the Wynn rented. Wow. I got slip and slides down the hallway. There's strippers and hookers everywhere. And we got midgets in stormtrooper outfits serving us drinks. And he'd be like, I'll have a private jet picking you up. Get here now.
How much money did he inherit?
About $5 billion. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And he's not fun anymore.
That's the best clip.
All right, we'll do this.
When you see kids running with their elbows out, right, like R2-D2,
right?
That's a test. That's C-3PO runs with his arms out.
Yeah, what is that?
R2-D2 doesn't have arms.
I'm just letting you talk to.
All right.
Don't try to test me.
Just seeing if you're here,
Won't
bro.
go well.
Just seeing you're here.
I'm fine.
The opening act, Upchuck, the clown,
is trying to calm my nerves. Now, there's no, they're their own security, so there's no security. It's just juggalo law on this huge piece of property. Upchuck's trying to convince me that it's not that scary of a gig, and he's driving me around on this golf cart, and he's like, you gotta, and this huge clown so this guy just jumps out of nowhere and starts punching Upchuck on the golf cart. He's running along and hitting him.
For no reason?
He's like, fuck you, Upchuck!
Oh my God. Fuck you, Upchuck, specifically.
Yeah, and he's gunning it, and the guy, so we lose the guy, and he's like, I'm here every year, they know me, I'm like family, and I'm like, okay, so he's trying to convince me this can of Faygo, the first can of Faygo comes in, poof, and it just sprays all over us, and he's like, he's so familiar with getting hit with Faygo Cola, he goes, it's diet, it's not going to stain. I swear to God. So then one comes in, and the 09's got it on camera. It's like the Zapruder film. We got this can of soda. This guy does a baseball pitch, and you see it whizzing seconds before it hits Upchuck right in the temple.
No.
Carack. He slumps over the wheel and he goes, I'm hurt bad. By the way, he's mid-sentence. He goes, something like that when the soda hit. Is that going to happen out of Dave Matthews? Carack! And he slumps over and he's like, I'm hurt bad, Bob. He's calling me Bob, so I know he's really fucked up, not Bobcat.
We walk in and everyone's gone but Sam and like 3 other people. And they're still doing blow. I first walk into the kitchen. I walk back to my room. I see the doors open. All the guitars are gone. My bed's fucked up. Like the door had been broken, been kicked in. And Sam looks at me and goes, I pissed on your bed, Marin. You want to know why? And I go, yeah, I do. He goes, because you let that fucking moron sleep with my guitars. And like then there's this weird silence. And I turned to Bill and I said, I told you I knew him.
Huh? I could do John Mayer.
No, I could do too. No, I think he's great. I think he's very talented. But if your wife is really into going,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like she drags you there and just stares at him.
Right.
Buble.
So you notice she's not clapping because one of her hands slipped down her jeans.
She's just knuckle deep. Oh, Dave Matthews, he's so sensitive. It sounds like someone stabbing a seal. She's just fisted herself. She's all the way to her elbow, just gritting her teeth and pounding it in there. You can see her rib cage expand as her fist goes up there. John Mayer, I fucking love you. Okay, let's go.
And if you break down humor like that, like you said, fine-tooth comb, every single joke, or 90% of the jokes you do, unless you're talking about balloons or bouncing a ball, have hurt somebody. If we get that literal with humor, then almost all jokes comics tell are going to be up for a careful examination. Contributing to a fucking rape culture is nonsense, and it is to say a comedian contributes to rape culture is simply bullshit, and it's simplistic thinking. It's a way of saying I don't like what you're saying, and I don't want you to say it, but I can't come out with that, so I have to find a higher reason, which makes it sound like you shouldn't say it for this reason.
As the ban against these weapons erodes, other tyrants will have no reason to think twice about acquiring poison gas and using them.
Jesus Christ.
Sure. Over time, our troops would again face the prospect of
honestly, if we don't attack Syria,
battlefield.
I'm going to get some poison gas.
And it could be easier for terrorist organizations. And the day after any military action, we would redouble our efforts to achieve a political solution that strengthens those who reject the forces of tyranny and extremism.
Joe Biden beat me at poker. He used to run Raytheon. They sell Hellfire missiles.
Oh, now he's leaving the same way he came in.
Oh, my God.
Nice and dramatic. That alone, all of this theatrical shit was orchestrated, folks. I guarantee you there are some people that are involved in this. There's some producers. There's an artistic director. That was a well-planned out scene. He walks up. He walks back. The fact that they do it in this ancient, stupid house where he supposedly lives. Meanwhile, he's in some fucking 7-mile thick bunker down, deep into the ground, the bowels of the earth where Dick Cheney was hiding all throughout the Iraq War. Remember?
You think there's just a metal slide he jumps in?
It's a chute, like a laundry chute. He just jumps in and slides through and lands in the towels and just dusts himself off. And
surrounded by lizards who are like, excellent work.
Yeah, it's Batman's lair. How much time between her putting the saran wrap over your butthole and you shooting a load? How much time?
15 seconds to put the saran wrap.
God.
5 seconds to shoot.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I mean, it's horrendous. I mean,
didn't you call feminism Marxist with panties? Is that
socialism. The original quote was socialism with tits. But that was a bad character in one of my novels. I just called it feminism with socialism with panties. And it's very true because, I mean, and people call, oh my God, that's so terrible. In fact, I just went through all the founding matriarchs of the feminist system. They're all Marxists, all leftists, and so on. And also, if feminists are so pro-woman, then where are they with Margaret Thatcher? Margaret Thatcher was like the first leader of a Western country. She struggled up from nothing. I mean, an incredibly powerful woman. But she was on the right, you see, so they hate her. What about Ayn Rand? Ayn Rand wrote the most influential book outside the Bible, and the second most influential book, according to the New York Times Review of Books after the Bible. Reshaped Western philosophy in many ways and Western politics. And the feminists hate her. Why? Because she was on the right. At least that's what they think. She was not actually on the right. But so, I mean, I have these sort of suspicions when they're sort of, is it the leftist ideology or the pro-woman? Now, if it's the pro-woman, then they should be incredibly positive. Where are the feminists when people insult people like Ann Coulter? Where are the feminists when people insult Sarah Palin? Mm-hmm. You know, like Bill Maher called her a cunt. I mean, that's really pretty vicious, like publicly, openly, right? I mean, where are the because they're on the right, Ann Coulter, and they're considered to be on the right, so they get a pass when people go, you know, but you then say something bad about a woman on the left. And so I think that it is more left than it is pro-woman, because when they choose between their politics and the gender, they always seem to choose the politics over the gender, and that's why I say it's leftist rather than pro-woman.
People always take things at face value. They don't tend to get to know you. Or, I mean, if I'm sitting right in front of you now, would you say that I am a woman?
No. No, I wouldn't say you're a woman.
Thank
you have a beard. You're yoked.
Out of my beard,
you're yoked and you have a beard. Yeah, no, you're basically a man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
That's a big compliment from me.
People steal everything.
Did you see this? This is me in high school, Duncan Trussell.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? Unfucking believable.
Joey's on the far right. That's insane.
Look at my
you were
shoulders.
so cute.
Check out the sexy
Lucky
legs.
7.
Yep.
Can you get it so just his whole body fills the screen?
No, I was 44. There was no Lucky 7.
Yeah, like that. Look at that. Wow. That's so crazy. Wow. Look at you, dude. So how old are you in this picture?
14.
14.
And that's when I was an innocent. No, I was smoking dope then. I was no innocent then. I was smoking dope. I was finger banging people.
It's like the hardest thing in the world is to say, somebody says to you, relax, right? Or be yourself. Just be yourself, Joe. You know? I mean, and yet I think as we become more professional and better at what we're doing, when somebody says to you, be yourself, you can. You can, you know, you're not burdened by these false selves and these things that you think you ought to be or what you ought to say or how you ought to look or what you ought to be. And I think in many ways that's what any artist does as they become a professional at what they do. They learn to kind of get out of their own way, and it's the hardest thing of all, I think.
Do you feel a responsibility for that? Or towards that as an artist? Do you ever feel like because of what you're doing, because of you're so motivated, you get so much done, you have so many different projects going, do you realize the impact of that? Because a lot of people are inspired by the not just the work ethic that you have, but the how much quality shit you produce, whether it's wine or music or.
I appreciate the compliment. I think you can't really worry about it. You just got to do what it is you're doing, and for me, I just have to do what I'm doing. There's a sense of responsibility for the art or for the process, and just for myself. I care about what I'm doing. If I start caring about what you think about what I'm doing, or whether it's going to be helping you, then I'm an assisted living employee.
When I was on the space station the second time, one of the other crew members, her name's Sue Helms. She and I were talking. We'd known each other since test pilot school. And in passing, a throwaway thing she didn't even think she was saying, she said, hey, you know, Earth said that we're supposed to do this next. And in my mind, I heard Earth said. I heard those words come out of her mouth, and it was like she has, in her mind, completely split off from the other 7 billion people. There's her crew, and Earth is one singular identifiable entity on the other side. And that was a real bell ringer to me of what it's going to be like to go to Mars. Those people are going to be a completely discrete unit of people, and they'll be Martians. They won't be Earthlings pretty quick in their heads. And how do you deal with that? How do we plan for that? And it's still a long ways in the future, but it's one of the many things we need to sort out before because as you say, once you get the engines going fast enough that you're headed for Mars, you can't just turn around.
You were an attorney, right?
Yeah, in Houston I was an attorney. Then in Dallas I started a computer company. I had a personal computer company that, in 1981 we outgrossed Microsoft. I had 4-color picture in Forbes magazine, made the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And
really?
Then IBM came in and crushed us like a bug.
Wow.
We just sold ourselves out of business, and by the time we were done, the last 8, 9 months, I was financing the thing by selling ecstasy.
What? I knew a guy in my acting class, and you know how long I was in acting class? Years. There was a guy, really good guy, normal guy. So I thought, and he was. And I hired him to shoot this audition. So I go to his house, and he's got this great camera. And on his wall is a dream board. And on his wall is his... No. He's put his face. No. He's put pictures of his face on the cover of Vanity Fair and those magazines. And he's got slogans saying, "You're the guy. You're the one." And it's a dream board.
Wow.
And it was big. It covered his whole wall, man. Yes, you should dream big. But you should also be realistic with who you are.
I won't do it.
He's going to do it. Shit.
It's high. He could put his hand between my legs and roll me back.
Right.
But see, that way you get the...
Don't let him see you doing that. He's going to hurt you.
Bitch slap you in a minute.
What is this 10% you keep saying? Why do you keep saying 10%?
Well...
Why does Brian keep saying 10%?
It's a running joke based in truth. I had some issues. I had some situations in my life, and I like to put numbers on things. And based on these factors and experiences and thought processes, we came to the number of 10% gay. I'm open with it, And
what did you just say?
It's not...
I don't understand what you just said. What you just said was a statement that would really work if everybody knew what you were saying. But I don't know what you're saying. So what you're saying is a 10% gay, I'm open with it. What does that mean? Does that mean you're 10% gay?
Yes. I came out on my podcast probably like 6 months ago.
You came out 10%?
Yes. What's so funny? I don't...
Is there any beers in there, Jamie? Go get me a beer. I need...
You need a beer on this one?
Yeah, this is going to get ridiculous.
No.
This is insane. I just want to point something out of how we are so weird, like, as a culture, that this is a part of, like, normal, everyday office life. Like, we got to make some decisions here. Like, okay, look at this woman. She's showing everything but her vagina. I mean, her knee is just strategically blocking her labia. Her legs are wide open, and she's hot as fuck.
Now, here's the thing. If you put the chyron right in front of the vagina, then everybody would know the news.
Exactly.
Right. We'd be a very informed country.
And women would get angry at you if you knew the news. You were looking at her vagina and you read the fucking news, huh?
This is like something that I like that Ram Dass says, which is like, if you don't feel like meditating, don't meditate. Don't force it. Don't impose this on yourself. Keep doing the thing you're doing that's upsetting you so much. Have the balls to keep doing the fucking thing that you're doing. Keep doing it. Society is going to tell you, don't be like this. Stop being like this. You have to change. That's what your parents always say. The idea is like, no, sink into what you are right now. Just be that thing. Stop resisting. Exactly where you are right now is perfect, and that's a hard truth to grasp.
I've been listening to Dan Carlin.
You would Mongolian barbecue my ass.
Dan Carlin was our guest on Monday, and he has a podcast called Hardcore History.
Yeah.
And right now it's all about the Mongols. And for the next hour home, I listened to the history of the Mongol Empire, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. I'm really into this Dan Carlin podcast recently. He's got this podcast called Hardcore History, and he does this really detailed history of the Mongols over like five episodes. Well, I told you I'm fucking in love with that Dan Carlin's Hardcore History podcast. You know, that's one of the really cool things, this Dan Carlin thing on the history of the Mongols. You know, we had Dan Carlin on from Hardcore History. You ever listen to that podcast?
I have heard about it.
Fucking amazing. One of his most badass podcasts is about the Mongols. Genghis Khan was a motherfucker. Like, he definitely killed 10 million. God damn.
It's unbelievable. That's the best. Just
They're talking about armies that were coming towards China where the Mongols had been, and in the distance they thought they saw snow-covered mountains, but when they got close they realized they were mounds of bones.
Oh my God.
And garlic, and the garlic is just gangsters, just killing everybody. Anybody that's anywhere, it's like the Mongol hordes.
It's like something out of ancient times that we have that, you know?
Yeah, it's like a Mongol horde.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's pretty preposterous.
The world has actually never been less violent than it is today.
But look at Syria, 100,000 people.
It's a lot, but I guess
That's
what
why
he's
it's so
saying is that it
horrific.
used to be worse.
The Mongols killed 1 million in a day.
Right.
There's a lot less murder than there was like in the fucking 1200s back during the Mongol days and shit like that. Brian, go to my Twitter, and there's a thing that I retweeted earlier today from Dan Carlin, a hardcore history guy. He put up a trailer of Genghis Khan and the Mongols from like the John Wayne era. They did a movie.
Yeah,
on
John
Genghis
Wayne
Khan.
played Genghis Khan.
They conquered everybody.
Yeah,
the Mongols came through Moscow in the winter. They came through the fucking. They attacked Russia in the winter because nobody else would do it that way, and they didn't see it coming.
Did I tell you why they were so hard to follow into the desert?
Who?
The Mongols.
You didn't have to tell me. I know a lot about them, but go ahead if you want to.
Well,
what are you, a fucking educator?
Well, no, because
did I tell you?
Because they're like because some societies would get their armies together. I know. Have I briefed you? Have I briefed you on the Mongols, my friend? I'm glad you asked.
I think we talked last time about how there's pictures of Afghanistan with Western idea type cultures. There was a massive culture shift in terms of women with education and your state of dress and things that would be allowed.
Well, there was a fantastic episode of Hardcore History, the Dan Carlin podcast, where he talked about the Mongols invading Iraq. Well, that's the second time that someone has done that to Baghdad. It's I've been listening to for the past couple of years Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. When Baghdad was raided by the Mongols and they crushed the society, they basically started from scratch after that, killed everyone, and threw all the literature away. So they say that today they're just getting to the point, like culturally, of where they were in 12 AD. The Mongols were throwing trees at them. They cut all their trees down, and then they stacked them up with giant catapults and hurled them over the gates, destroying everything in the city. And what they would do is take the survivors and put them in the front lines and use them oftentimes as the front. Yeah. They would push an army into the town, and people would be shooting arrows at their own friends. Thousands and thousands of people just be forced through the door of the gate of a city. I listened to your Mongol podcast at least 4 or 5 times.
And you know what? I heard complaints that Joe Rogan stopped telling Joe Rogan to talk about your Mongol podcast on his show. I heard you talk to this poor comedic woman about it, and you said something, and we went back to her. There's this long dead silence where she tried to absorb what you just told her.
Who was that? Who do you think that would have been? Female comedian?
She's got a show on
Amy Schumer.
Yeah,
that's most likely.
You talked about it, and there's this long pause. Like, what do I say after that?
Yeah, I hit Amy Schumer with some fucking crazy talk.
Yeah, you hit her with some Mongol stuff.
I love you, sweetie.
Harsh, man.
I must be broadcasting to record. What the fuck? I am broadcasting, you cunts. There we go. Now we're on, ladies and gentlemen. We're sort of on time. We try to get it right every week, but every week we fuck something up. And this week I made sure that I turned off the sound on my computer, the one over there. I haven't even turned off the sound on this one yet.
I did it for you.
You
I
did
did
yours.
You got mine. I did do mine.
You didn't do yours.
You passed the
torch. It could have easily been me that just fucked up, that's the reason why I fucked up. It's because I'm here. Because I always fuck it up. I fuck it up every week. We've done this goddamn thing like 22 weeks in a row. I fuck it up every single time. But this week it was Brian. I've been thinking about this podcast a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the things I've been thinking about is I appreciate the fuck out of everybody listening. And we do try our best to make this as interesting as possible and as smooth and professional as possible. But I got to admit that I've been too stressed out about this. I've been taking it too seriously. I mean, taking it seriously in a good way, whereas we improve the sound. We got a real mixer. We're sitting on couches and shit. And We're going to get better cameras. But that, like, it's not, like, there's a part of it that's really fun, but there's a part of it that wasn't fun. And I don't think that should exist. I don't think I should ever get too serious about this. This is for people who are working, who are just being distracted, that just want something because they're doing mindless shit. This is for people that are driving in their cars and, you know, want something to listen to. This is for people on the train. This is for people at the gym. Whatever the fuck. It's for you guys, all right? And if we take it too seriously, you stop being yourself, and it starts being like this professional thing that you're trying real hard to do. And I think I've fallen prey to that a little bit. I was thinking about it today after I took a little bit of the hit of the weed, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, man, this thing, like, I'm like, I pay too much attention to it. It should just be a weekly fun thing, like it or not. You know, for anybody who's like-minded or anybody who's interested in some sort of a distraction from someone who's not like-minded. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Love you, bitches.
Later.